There has been much focus on Donald Trump's erratic foreign policy, the outlandish positions, the many flip-flops, the outright mistakes. But far more damaging in the long run might be what some have termed the Trump effect, the impact of Donald Trump on the domestic politics of other countries. That effect appears to be powerful, negative, and enduring. It could undermine decades of American foreign policy successes. Look at Mexico. For generations, this was a country defined by fiery anti-Americanism. Founded by a radical revolutionary movement, fueled by anger against American imperialism and high-handedness, Mexico would rarely cooperate with Washington. Since the 1990s, that landscape has been almost reversed. Thanks to intelligent leadership in Mexico City and consistent bipartisan engagement by Washington, the U.S. and Mexico have become friendly neighbors, active trading partners, and allies in national security. Mexico buys more U.S. goods than does China, and is in fact the second largest destination for U.S. exports after Canada. Sales to Mexico are up 455% since the passage of NAFTA. The country cooperates with the U.S. on border security, helping to interdict drug shipments and deporting tens of thousands of Central American migrants who aim to enter the U.S. illegally through Mexico. All of this could change easily over the last year as candidate Trump and now President Trump has attacked and demeaned Mexico and its people. The political landscape there has shifted. President Enrique Peña Nieto's already declining approval ratings have plummeted after he was seen as too conciliatory toward Trump. It is now quite possible, in fact likely, that the next president of Mexico will be an anti-American, socialist populist, similar to Venezuela's Hugo Chavez. Andrés Manuel López Obrador was polling around 10% at the start of 2015. He is now over 30%, the frontrunner among the presidential candidates for next year's election. A victory for López Obrador would be a disaster for Mexico, but also for the United States. It would likely take Mexico back to its days of corrupt socialism and dysfunctional economics, all sustained by populism and nationalism. Now consider South Korea. Trump's demand that Seoul pay for the THAAD missile defense system, threatening to overturn the existing agreement with Washington, has fueled the forces in South Korea that oppose that system in the first place, along with any aggressive military measures taken against North Korea. Trump has casually delivered a number of slights to one of America's closest allies, accepting wholesale China's claim that Korea once belonged to it, and threatening to tear up the U.S.-South Korea free trade agreement. South Korea is facing a snap election for its presidency, and the candidate who is benefiting most from Trump's antics is the left-wing Moon Jae-in. Anti-Americanism has returned to South Korea in force, though not quite as strongly as in Mexico, where Donald Trump's favorability has been recorded at 3%. In foreign policy, great statesmen always keep in mind one crucial reality. Every country has its own domestic politics. Crude rhetoric, outlandish demands, poorly thought-through policies, cheap shots, all place foreign leaders in a box. They cannot be perceived as surrendering to America, and certainly not to an America led by someone who is determined to show that for America to win, others must lose. That's one big difference, among many, between doing a real estate deal and managing foreign policy.